Welcome to this ICAHD UK webinar. We welcome all those in the audience today, some very familiar faces, but other new faces. And we've got people with us today from several countries, not just the UK. And it's always a thrill to see the audience who joins us. Because we've got new people, I'm just going to say a few words about ICAHD UK before we launch into the actual subject of today's webinar. ICAHD UK was launched in British Parliament in 2004. So we are now commemorating 20 years of our existence, representing the Israeli Committee Against House Demolitions, which is based in Jerusalem. Here, we focus on education and awareness raising, lobbying in Parliament. We've supported ICAHD in the rebuilding of Palestinian homes and with the issue-based study tours that are provided. ICAHD's focus for mobilization has always been the demolition of Palestinian homes, which are in violation of the Fourth Geneva Convention. ICAHD also looks at the big picture, wanting a just and sustainable solution for both people groups. Therefore, we support the One Democratic State campaign, which is led by Palestinians. Now, we know how difficult it has been for Palestinians to meet. There is such a fragmented community. The encouraging news is that there is more mobilization amongst them now with discussions on the way ahead. This is going to be a long process as they also connect to the Palestinians in the diaspora. But we are definitely there to support them in this vision for the future to that important place in the world. Since October the 7th, our focus has very much been on Gaza, quite rightly so. You know, ICAHD put out a statement mourning the death of Israeli lives and what happened when Hamas broke out of Gaza. But very importantly, we have put this in the context of the history of what's happened in that part of the world and Gaza having been under blockade for 17 years. In November, ICAHD put out a statement identifying what's happening as a genocide in Gaza. And actually, we describe a slow genocide happening in the West Bank. And so we really need to have a focus now on what's going on in the West Bank. That's why we have prepared today's webinar entitled Apartheid and Terrorism, Intensify in the West Bank. We have 3 speakers who have joined us. We're going to hear from each of them for about 10 to 12 minutes. Then we're going to take questions. So that's up to you, our audience, to put something in the chat line so we can draw our speakers out further. So let's get going. We know that Auda can't be with us, or very likely can't be with us for the whole time. So Auda El-Hathaleen, can you please put on your video so we can see you? Auda is a journalist and he's an English teacher from El-Her. El-Her is located in the south of the West Bank in Masafa Yatta in the South Hebron Hills. So Auda, a very warm welcome to you. Please, what would you like to share with us? Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, do you hear me? Yeah. Thanks a lot for inviting me to be in this meeting. I'm really glad to be with you guys. It's really important and it's really needed. Special thanks for the organizers who acted for the Palestinian justice and organized such a meeting like this, because it's really important, as we all the time mention, that we want the people to know. Let me introduce myself really quickly. So my name is Auda Hadalin. I'm from Khair village. I'm a human rights activist, and also like I'm an English teacher. I'm a journalist. I'm gonna talk really quickly, like in around 10 minutes about the situation lately here in Khair. Khair is a Palestinian Bedouin village, as Palestinian Bedouin village in South Hebron Hills. All of the people here are refugees. All of them got transferred from their land when the catastrophe, or a Nakba, as we the Palestinians say, when the catastrophe took a place. So like it's a war. People killed, people got jailed, people got transferred. So we are from the Palestinians who got evicted from their land in Beersheba and Orad in 1948, and we came here to this land. We bought this land from other Palestinians who are living in the city, and we lived here our normal Bedouin life from 1948 until 1982. In the beginning of 1982, and after like the Israeli occupation occupied the rest of the West Bank, and before 80s, it was really empty here. But once the settlement started here, it started in 1982, and they started as a military checkpoints, just like a military checkpoint, like stopping the people from moving everywhere. But this settlement expanded step by step, year by year, until it became one of the biggest settlements in South Hebron has. So once we bought this land, we got all of the papers, all of the documents, which prove that this land is ours. And anyway, once they build the settlement here, they just like kick the people out from their land, and like there's a lot of our land now inside the fence of the settlement, and the people they are not able even like to use it like before the settlement, and they are just like causing the people a lot of troubles. First of all, they are not allowing like the Palestinians who are living here in Al Khair to to have enough water. So all of the water which we have is just like from the water pipes, we can only get water 7 hours a week, and we know 7 hours a week, like for a Bedouin community for 200 people, 37 families, 80 children, is totally not enough. And after that, like the settlement, like surrounded, just to let the people imagine the situation. We are, like in the middle, and we got surrounded by the settlements from the three sides. And the fourth side, which is the east, they built, like a farms, like really big white farms belong to the settlement. So the people who are humans here, we are not allowed to get electricity. But in the same time, the electricity is passing over the village from the settlement, going over the village to the farms. So the animals, they have electricity 24 hours, while we, the Palestinians, the people, we don't have, like electricity. All of our electricity is just like from solar panels, and we all know that like the system of solar panels, like it depends on sun. So like we have the same number, the same amount of electricity. So in the winter we stayed so many nights without like electricity. After that, after preventing the water and preventing the electricity, and also like confiscating the land, 2007, like 14th of February 2007. It was the first demolition process which happened here in my village. I remember that day very well. I was a child in the seventh grade. I was going to the school. I remember everything, and I remember how we went back to the village once we saw the bulldozers are destroying our houses. That demolition, it was the first demolition process. More than 28 people became homeless, and 6 houses got destroyed. One of them, the house where I lived, like my childhood. After that, from 2007 until today, Khair people, we faced the demolition more than 18 times. 18 demolition process. More than 108 structures got destroyed. The last demolition process happened here in Khair. It was 26th of June of the last month, less than 3 weeks ago. What happened? That the Israeli occupation, they raided the village. Israeli demolition forces, they raided the village. A lot of army, border police, Israeli civil administration, and they raided the village. And that moment, I wrote a really long article about this. That moment, you don't know which family will be homeless, which people will live a disaster today. and they start gathering, inside the village. The people are running. They don't know where they are running. The Palestinians behind the bulldozers and in front of the bulldozers, because we don't know which family will be homeless. So the forces, they gathered here in the middle of the village. While everyone was looking to them, everyone was really shaking and terrifying. And after that, they moved to one of the tents here, one of the old tents, which is like since really decades, since years ago. And they destroyed that tent where we, welcome everyone, where we host the people. They destroyed that tent because the settlers complained about that tent. So after they destroyed that tent, they moved to the electricity room, and also they destroyed the electricity room for all of the community. And after that, they moved to a house for one of the activists here, one of the oldest activists here, like a good friend of us. His name is Eid. Like they destroyed all of his house, and they left him with his wife, with his five daughters on the rubble, just like, like thinking about their memories in this house, because their house got built 2008. So we are talking about 16 years ago. That, like everyone thought that, like, they finished, but they moved again to one of the biggest families here in Khair, and they destroyed literally everything they have. They destroyed everything they have. Their houses, like their kitchens, their bathrooms, and they left them without any shelter. All of this, like, is just like really quickly about the demolition. And in the same week, 2 days after, we started to see settlers attacks. Like, first of all, we saw like the first attack, which happened, that the settlers, like the two shepherds of one of the farms here, they invited themselves by themselves to come to one of the Palestinian houses here, and they were ordering, like a coffee and tea. And once the people were confronting them and trying to let them go out, they attacked the people, like by the pepper spray, and one guy got injured. 2 days after, anyway, we called the army with the police. Every time they come, they don't do anything for the settlers. They just like push the Palestinians and arrest them. 2 days after, it was, like one of the biggest attacks here, which happened in Umm that the settlers, they brought their sheep in the middle of the village. And once the people, like they were trying, like to push them out, they attacked a young guy, 17 years old, by like wood sticks and also like pepper spray. And also his mom, again with him, got attacked in the same moment. And also like his aunt. So three people got attacked. But after that, 5 minutes later, more settlers joined, and they were attacking the people in really aggressive way, shooting, like on the sky, live bullets. They have iron sticks, they have wood sticks, and also, like the pepper, which they all the time use. And that attack left, like 6 people injured, 4 women, and also like a young girl, 5 years old. And this is like the physically attacks. After that, without, like taking a lot of time, but after that, the settlers came back again, and they cut the water pipes for all of the people here in the community. We were able to reconnect that, but they came again, they cut it again, we reconnected again, until now it's like exist. They didn't cut it again, but every day they come by their sheep, just like provoking the people, causing the people problems and troubles. Sometimes they just like close the streets, and like stop drivers from everywhere. And the last time that they showed up, it was like yesterday early morning. And today, just like 2 hours ago, I hear that they are, like really close here on this side of the village. So what I'm gonna say really quickly, that here we, the people of Khair, we are just like really simple people asking about our really simple rights. But unfortunately, we are in a time that our main rights became a dreams. I don't want, I and my community and my people and my families here, we don't want to be better than any one of you or anyone in all of the world. But we want to be equal with everyone. Equality is really important. We don't want to be better, but we want to be equal. Omar Khair, since years we saw a lot of attacks. Since years, since like the beginning of the settlement here, we lost our leader Has Suleiman, who got killed by the Israeli police once their driver ran over him, like by a truck carrying 3 cars. Did we take his justice? No. Since 7th of October also, like the attacks just like increased in really unbelievable way. Our village got raided, like so many times at night. All of the houses got checked. They broke stuff here and there. And also, like, I personally, my house, like, they raided my house. It's really the time, like, to do something for the Palestinians. In my personal opinion, I think there are two ways to be with the Palestinians. The first one, like, to be in solidarity with them, which is really important. But also, like, the second thing is like acting for their justice, which is like really more important. And this is what exactly we need now. We need, like, the people to do everything they can to stop the settlers' attacks, like, against the simple Palestinians here who are living in Masaf Riyadh and who are living in Al Khair, because what the people are facing here is something really unbelievable. Like, we sleep in houses and we have no guarantee if we will sleep in the same house again tomorrow. Like, no one of us feel free to go, for example, anywhere, because, yeah, like, what if the settlers come back again? What if they attack the women? What if they attack the children? It's really unbelievable situation, and I think it's really the chance. May it's really the last chance to do something for the Palestinians here on the ground, because, yeah, like if you want to help the Palestinians, it doesn't need that you want to be a Palestinian or a Muslim, no, at all. Just like if you're a human, you will care about the Palestinians. You will help, because there is no humanity here. There is no justice. There is no peace, and everyone is really suffering. Everyone is really facing hard times, because, as I mentioned many times, like, we feel that something gonna happen. We don't know when or where or like with whom, so this, like, stress all of the time, like worried all of the time. You think about our future, and also, like, in the same time, it's really a dark future. There is no even, like, even a light in it. So the last thing I'm gonna say, yeah, please do everything you can, like, like, protest, demonstrate, send messages, send emails, sharing, like, photos, pictures, videos, talking with diplomats. Do everything you can for the Palestinians, because it's really, like, hard situation. As much as I can describe, I will not be able to describe everything. And thanks a lot for listening. And yeah, thanks for inviting me for this meeting.
Thank you very much, Auda. It's difficult to hear what you have to say, but we have to know the truth. We have to know. And I know there's many people, if not every single person who's here in the audience just now, that really has taken to heart what you have said, which helps us to continue to dedicate our lives to stand in solidarity with you. We are fearful of you, knowing the great risk that you and those in your village live under. Please take care. When you need to leave the call, do. You said that you're very susceptible now to having the settlers arrive, even during the rest of this evening. So thank you, Auda. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm now going to turn to our next speaker, who is Guy Hirschfield. Guy is an Israeli Jew who's involved in a couple of really important initiatives. One of them is the role he has as field coordinator for Torah Zedek, which is Torah of Justice. And he's also very much involved with the project Looking the Occupation in the Eye. For that project, they seek to bring the reality of the occupation to non-activist Israelis. So Guy is now going to talk to us about his work with the shepherding communities in the E1 and Jericho area. So fill us in on that, please, Guy. It's over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening. Yeah, it was pretty sad to hear Ode. I know him from a long time. Yeah, but let's focus on the other issues. I'm part of activists that working mostly in the area of Uja, Jericho, and East Ramallah area. You heard from Ode what they suffering from, and El-Khair is really unique community. They are sitting just a fence between them and the settlement Carmel. So it's really unique, but the story is the same all over. So I'm going to speak about the big picture of what Israel is trying to make with what I consider as a terrorist and a Jewish terrorist. I don't have another way to describe them. There is a difference between the settlers and the terrorists in the outpost, in the terrorist, that even according to the Israeli law, they are not legal. But still, the government, especially this government, is it's not they using each other to make the ethnic cleansing in Area C. And now, with the new government, and especially after 710, we can see that in the area I'm working, we are talking about something like 200,000 dunams that were clean from non-Jewish people. All the Palestinian shepherds community was forced to run away. It started before the 710, but it's really increased after the 710. So most of the area east from Ramallah to the Jordan River is now clean from shepherd communities. And again, there is no other way. It was ethnic cleansing. They still now working on the community who are left. It's the same like, in this, all the community, it's the same. It's a procedure that continue for years. It's in the beginning, they don't let them to, they disturb them during the grazing, and slowly narrow the grazing lands. And now most of the community can't go out to graze. They kind of close in the siege on the communities. We can see it in the south east of Hebron. We can see it in the Jordan Valley, all over. And after in our place, when I'm working now, it's called Community Ras El Ain. So again, they can't go outside to graze. They suffer from terror attacks that they're coming twice in the last months. Everything is coordinate or kind of coordinate with the police, with the army. They are part of it. We can't ignore it, especially the soldiers. They protect them. They are coming with them. They are working with them. And now, for example, in Ras El Ain, they need to go with their tractor to bring water from the nearby spring. If they are not, if there is no activist over there, especially this hour 5 to 7, they can't fill water. The terrorists won't let them to fill the water tanks. And we're talking about the Jordan Valley. The temperature there can reach up to 45 and even 50 degrees. So it's crazy. They don't have electricity, no running water. And now they also want to prevent from them the access to the water. Just yesterday, they paint all the area with the blue and white with the Israeli flag. Someone covered it during the night. They paint it today again. But we can see with this government, if there is it's not going to be any change, they will clean Area C from all the Palestinians. Because now we can see also that after they finish with the shepherds community, that they are really weak and they can't resist, they're starting to go on the villages in Area C. The villages are a little bit stronger, and I presume the resistance over there will be stronger, and it will be massacre. Like the terrorists will come, if a Palestinian will do something, they will kill him. And they done it few times since 710. So we're talking about like, I'm doing this for 15 years and I never saw the situation so bad. Like I was arrested twice in the last 3 weeks, and I saw the police a video that denying what the terrorists saying and opposite, saying that showing that they attacked me. But I was arrested. They are not. I was expelled from the lands for 15 days. They are not. They trying really hard now to take us as Israeli activists and also international activists outside so they can finish the work. And for me, in the beginning, we are trying in looking the occupation in the eye is also to bring the occupation to the Israeli public without any filters. We're not polite, not politically correct. But if the international community is the only one who can make the change. And we don't have a long time to do it because it's really getting worse. Because of the situation, not tomorrow, on Friday, we are going to send a letter to the ICC, International Criminal Court, as Israeli activists. And basically, we are suggesting them all the database we have from 8 years of activism in the Jordan Valley. It's something that it's not easy for me as Israeli to do. They consider me a traitor even before, but now we in a very up level of betrayer. But again, we don't have any other way because the military, the police, even the court, the Supreme Court, everyone is part of the occupation. So we shall still be on the ground with the Palestinians until they will prevent it from us. And they trying to do it, okay? Like to take us for a few months in all kind of excuses and reason. So what I have to ask is you to put, now you have a new government in UK, supposed to be a left government. Now it's the time to push on our government to make the pressure on Israel. It's because otherwise there is no place for the two-state solution, and it will make Israel the same way, the same like Iran. We are speaking here about the Palestinians, but this government also working inside Israel, the religious, the Orthodox, gay, lesbian, everything. They want to take us hundreds years back. So we shall be here, but we need your support and your pressure on your governments. Basically, that's it. This is the story.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you. Thank you. I know that you've made a lot of sacrifices to do what you've done. You alluded to it a little bit in how, you've gone away from your family and your friends. In the stand that you've taken, you followed one of your rabbis who does speak out for social justice. We are heartened by what you've said. Stay safe. We'll come back to you again during the Q&A. Thank you now for that update. As we turn to Rashid. And Rashid is in the Jordan Valley. Rashid is often based in Bardala at the community center that is there where the work happens. Now, can we just make sure everybody is muted as we bring Rashid in? I'm not seeing Rashid yet. Rashid, can you please unmute and join us? Is Rashid still with us?
Hi, dear Linda.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rashid. Can you please now talk about your situation. You know, Guy said a few words about water and temperatures, and I think, yes, and then Auda also spoke about restrictions to water. Can you make sure that when you share information, you talk about the water apartheid that is happening as well within the Jordan Valley? Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, first, thanks, dear Linda and dear organization, and thanks to everyone who's coming to join and to hear about our life that's under occupation. And what I will start with about it, dear Linda, is not about the water apartheid and not about our situation. I will start with that. Trying to have hope for everyone first, because I see that how is some faces that they don't really have any hope about this situation. It's our situation, dear all, that we are as a Palestinian under the international government occupation. Is not under the Israeli occupation, especially the whole international government that is still supporting the Israeli government. This is why we are still under occupation. This is why the situation is going to be more and more really hard and difficult. The situation of the water in the Jordan Valley is nothing new. This is since 1967, since the first war. You know, the Israeli government, they was having the plan through the Israeli company, which is called Mikarot, with the support from the Israeli army, Israeli police. You know, they make a different plan to control the whole water resource in the Jordan Valley just for the Israeli citizen. For the settlers in the Israeli colony, for the agriculture settlers. First, they isolate the Jordan River and not allowed any Palestinian to access to the main Palestinian drinkable water, which is the Jordan River. And even they control more than 10 natural spring water in different area in the Jordan Valley. One of this natural spring, it's called As-Sakut, and Nab'at al-Ghazal, and even more natural spring water like south of the Jordan Valley, like Ras al-Oja. This village guy, he was talking about the water there and the settlers attack and harassment. And even about the Palestinian to survive without allowed them to access to the main water resource. This is maybe what it's the main hard and difficult, especially in the summertime, which is not just in area C, even in area B in the Jordan Valley. Since 67 until now, we are not allowed to access especially to the drinkable water, not just to the agriculture water. And most of the Israeli water resource, like the Mikarot company, they built more than 20 water wells in the Jordan Valley from north to the middle to the south. And this water, they don't share any of this water resource with our communities, with our population in the Jordan Valley. And even last 2 months ago until now, you know, even they started closing and destroying the Palestinian water wells in area B and area A. Like in Al-Aqaba village in the north of the Jordan Valley, just 1 week ago, they broke and destroyed Palestinian water well. Even in Al-Nassariya village, they destroy and close the Palestinian water well. And that's very clear why they not allowed us to access to the water resource, because they don't respect international law, they don't respect humanity. They don't want us to be there. This is why they use the water as the weapon, because the Israeli plan is very clear. They want to displacement or our civilian under occupation from the Jordan Valley, outside of the Jordan Valley. And even this situation, they started the Israeli government with the Israeli army and police, but now even the Israeli settlers and the Israeli municipality, they following this kind of water Apartheid system, in the Jordan Valley. Like even the Israeli settlers, the Israeli council, the settlement council, they start uh, confiscating the water tank or confiscating our sheep. And the same, the settlers, they start controlling and trying to control the natural spring water that was not confiscated or not controlling. Like exactly what's happened in Ain Sakut and Ras Al Oja. This is maybe the main example about the water resource. And this is how the very easier for us and very clear about this is one of the main Israeli crimes, the main Israeli apartheid. It's the water in Area C, and even how they don't respect civilian under occupation, and even they don't respect any kind of solidarity with us, because as guy he talking about himself, they was last week stopping or arrested 2 times, but it's the same for international, it's the same for Palestinian activists. Even we are not allowed to cross the checkpoint easily as a Palestinian. When they check our ID and they know like we are doing some activity or some support for our community, they stop us sometimes 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours without explaining why. Even sometimes they not allowed us to cross or to enter from the area A to the area C, because they don't want us to be there to organize or to try doing any kind of support for our community. And that's mean they isolate the whole Jordan Valley through different checkpoints from north to middle to the south of the Jordan Valley. We can start from Ityasir checkpoint, which is in the north of the Jordan Valley, and the Hamra checkpoint. This is the two main checkpoints that's easier. We can cross it to access to the north or to the middle of the Jordan Valley. The same in the south of the Jordan Valley, there is Ma'al Ephraim checkpoint, which is in road, alone road, and sometimes they create just what they call it the fly checkpoint. This is how they isolate our area through the checkpoint, which this is attacked all our life. It's mean even for education, it's very hard for a student to access to the university, to even to travel to the hospitals, because in all areas, see, even we don't have any hospitals. It's really hard to access to the hospitals in the main town in the West Bank. To sell our products as a farmers, it's really hard. Even for the workers to come from outside of the Jordan Valley to the Jordan Valley, it's very hard for the workers. And this is how they affect all our life. The water situation, the health situation, the study, the education, everything, is trying to make our life really not possible to be there or to resist anymore. And what it's more make us really upset, that how the international government is still supporting the Israeli government. This is the really maybe sometimes not really having any more hope, because we're still seeing the situation or the international government policy, not changing, and this is the way how it's maybe in the coming years, there will be not really any solution for two-state solution or any other solution, if the international government, they don't really change the international government policy, with the Israeli. They're not just even support them, but even they are silent about the whole crimes happen against the humanity being or against the civilian under occupation. This is really bad, and I hope that next time maybe we have to not really just talking about life under occupation, but I think it's very, very important for international even solidarity, international activity, international movement to start even thinking more or organizing more thing about solution. Not just through supporting the Palestinians in the thing that which or all we agree about it, but I think we can think about more deepening solidarity for maybe ending the occupation and how we can really supporting the Palestinian community in the Jordan Valley.
Okay, Rashid. It's again very hard to have even more information from you on top of what we've already heard, because it's so grim, it's so terrible, it's beyond belief what's happening to civilians. But we have to know this. We have to know these facts so that we can take them to our parliamentarians, to our representatives, to our communities, to our networks, to continue to raise up this issue. So thank you for what you've said. Now I'm going to call upon Duncan to see if you've got some response to what's appeared in the chat line, please, Duncan. I don't know if there's questions or mainly comments, but what can you share? And let's kick off the next 15 minutes or so. Okay, Duncan, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, there haven't been that many questions. I mean, there's been a lot of solidarity and support and praising people for their eloquence and honesty in reporting what's actually going on the ground. And people have been talking about that ordinary citizens in the UK and America just aren't aware of the depth of the attacks and the privations that Palestinian people are suffering on the West Bank. There have been comments about saying, but both in America and in this country, that not having much faith in governments actually responding. I mean, I think personally, I would say at least we've got a lot of new MPs, which should be more open to lobbying after the most recent election in this country. People are expressing sort of solidarity and talking about Guy's work with International Criminal Court. I mean, I'm not aware. I don't think Guy actually mentioned that in his piece. So I wonder whether Guy could expand on that and sort of say what, if lobbying or what kind of information he's been submitting to the International Criminal Court against Israel.
If I understand right the question, for us as Israeli, you know what, I will start different. Now the parliament, there is on the parliament table, they put a law that will make it against the law to Israeli people to connect or work with the ICC. So Israel is really afraid from that. And so we decided again to share all our database, everything we can to help to the ICC. And because it's really radical and even it can be dangerous for us to do it, we asked, we're working on it for a few weeks, and we asked people to support our move. So we gathered something like 150 professors, the legal advisor, the retired legal advisor of the government, the chairman of the Knesset, retired, Avrum Burg, Michael Ben Yair, and Professor Schulman, David, a lot of famous people inside Israel. And first of all, we're really willing to do whatever we can to help and to take it a few steps ahead. We also think and hope that with this step that it will be there will be also an ad in Haaretz newspaper on Friday to start that the Israeli will speak about it. First of all, they will be very mad, nervous, angry about us. But I hope that with this letter, we can kind of some of them to take them down to see what's going on, to take journalists and to make the Israelis see what's going on. Because one of the things that I saw during the years that the Israeli really don't know what's going on in occupied Palestine. The same that they don't know what's going now in Gaza. The massacre we are doing there, the 15,000 children we murdered, the Israeli don't know nothing about it. It's not in our media. So hopefully we shall do it with this, with the letter, and we shall see where it will take us. But it will be a lot of against us, and let's see what will be with that. But also another organization, international organization, I can say that already want our database and to work with it, because especially in the Jordan Valley, we have reports from 2016, early 2016, and the first terror nests were established in the September 2016. So we have all the procedure, everything that went down in the Jordan Valley. We have document of that, and hopefully someone will use it very soon.
Okay, thanks, Guy. We had a couple of questions for Rashid and Ode about potentially how us taking part in this seminar tonight can offer actually support to the communities affected in the Jordan Valley. And also another question about, is there any children's activities being organized during the summer for the children affected by these attacks, etc.?
I'm sorry, dear Dance, but I don't really hear you very well. Excuse me.
The question was, how can we support you in the UK and America? What direct support would you appreciate that we can give you to help you? That's one question. And secondly, are there any children's activities being organized over the summer?
You can write your question, please. You can write it in the chat. I'm sorry, but I cannot really, like, the first one I hear it, but the second no.
Can you see the
in the chat?
There are questions in the chat, sort of, which are written down. Are you able to see the chat lines?
Oh. Did you ask about the election in the United States? This is the second.
That was a later question. We were asking about what support people in the UK and America can give to you and your campaign and your people.
Okay, yeah. You know, like, first, like, it's really very important, and we really appreciate all international solidarity and support. There is a lot of demonstration and protest. There is a lot of donation. There is a lot of publishing article, report, about the situation in Palestine, in Gaza, in West Bank, this is what let's say is a start last 12 years ago, and we are really appreciate all this kind of solidarity and support. But with the Israeli government, we don't really feel this is kind of support is enough. This is why I say I hope that next time we can have more time to talk about what international they can really do. I mean, in the way to plan together, like about more international solidarity, more international campaign that they can really having more support. Like, of course, the donation it's helped the international volunteers who can really staying there and joining. It's helped the demonstration and the pressure that you organize it in the United States, in the UK, to try to change the UK government or the United States government policy. That's really important to make more pressure for the international government to stop, and to end the occupation. I think that's what's maybe more we needed, and even I hope that this is kind of demonstration never they will be end until the end of the occupation, and I hope that demonstration they can be more bigger and everywhere in the world, not just in the UK and in the United States, because it's really everything start to be more and more hard and difficult there.
Okay, thank you. Linda, how much more time do we have?
We've got fine. Certainly go at least another 5 minutes. That's fine, because there's more questions. So let's cover some more of the questions.
Okay, yeah, there was another question about social media in Israel, is about whether Israelis are being, social media is being blocked, so it's to stop them finding out. I know obviously there's military censorship, isn't there, of lots of media, but the question was about social media. Is that being censored and blocked?
If we are blocked in the social media,
whether the government is blocking it.
Again, I don't know. I think she left already, but the chairman of Facebook Israel came from the Bibi people. The last one, Teheni, was her name. We suffer from it. Part of it is because the social media terms, and part of it is because what I consider the fascists are organized to put complaints, and then automatically they are blocking us. We have now, I suggest you to follow him, Andre X, in Instagram and TikTok. Is doing really good, but we can see he's working in the last few weeks, and now they're starting to block him, to take down, it's not posts, it's videos. There is no reason, there is radical or strong videos. They're not taking down, but you can see some others they taking down. If he appeals, sometimes they bring it back. But also the exposure of the left side is less. It's like they have a volume level and they taking it down. We can see it with all of us in the social media. So they kind of cooperate also with the government. Facebook need benefits from the Israeli government, so they need to shake hands and work together.
Okay, thank you. There's another question about, well, to everyone really, about how can, if internationals want to come out and actually join people on the West Bank with the activism, how do they actually do that? I know obviously ICAHD run tours every 6 months, but that's not the kind of direct activism. But I don't know whether anybody on the panel can say, if people from Europe or the UK or America want to come out and join you in the activism, how do they do that?
Rashid, you want to answer it, or I will answer? Now, last week, the Palestinians start a project called Faza. Faza, it's mean like the way they describe it It's when, like, if Israel destroying one house, everybody will come to help to this family. So this is the meaning of Faza. So now they're starting this program to bring international volunteers to be in Palestine. I can send you the links to register, and you are more than welcome to come and be with the Palestinians and with us. There is the FASA project and also the ISM project. I can send you both of them, and again, you're welcome to come here.
Yes, that's of course very important, dear Guy, and everyone. It's any kind of solidarity with our groups, with our different movement. It's very, very important to join, like Faz'a, like ISAM, like even with the Israeli activist, even with the other Palestinian group in South Hebron Hills or in the Jordan Valley. This is all kind of different support. Of course, we need it. And what I was saying, dear Guy, before, we hope that we can make the level of international solidarity more high, and keeping like more growing through the demonstration, through sending more volunteers or donation or any kind of solidarity. But even I hope that's something they can be organized for planning about it. As you remember in the last meeting in with the different group in Ras Al Ain Al Oja, we was talking about similar or close thing, how we can develop all this kind of solidarity and movement. That's what we needed, because Guy, if you're looking like to the occupation, how it was before, even just 6 years ago or before COVID-19 time, it was less, I mean, less violence, less attack, less house demolition, and less even confiscation land or confiscation cars and material. But now the occupation is making everything more bigger and more difficult for the Palestinian. And this is even what we wish from ourselves as Palestinian, and even from international movement or international activity.
Okay, thank you very much. There was another question about the UN Security Resolution about a ceasefire in Gaza, and whether, if that actually gets passed, then there would be more attention to what's actually going on in the West Bank. And do people think that's possible?
It's all now. It's everything is in BBNs. He is the only barrier for everything, and this government. But I hope that when it will be that the ceasefire that will be, it's part of a bigger plan that conclude the Saudian plan and things like this. But for now, we stuck with Bibi.
Okay, thank you. There's other questions about people talking about the UK and new Green MPs being elected and being more positive to initiatives in supporting Palestine. So that's encouraging. Someone else talked about the Buddhist group traveling to Palestine, and other people are showing interest in coming.
And there was a question about Trump, wasn't there? And I've lost it now. It was something about, well, basically, Rashid Guy, what's in the news over there about Trump and the feeling if Trump is elected? Would you like to comment on that? And we may have to now bring this to a close with our last few comments from anything else that is in the chat line. But Rashid, can you start? Thank you.
Did you ask, dear, or the question is about if Trump was elected? This is the question.
Well, what's the feeling? Is there much discussion about him amongst you?
it's no feeling about Trump or about Biden or about Netanyahu. It's all the same, dear Linda. You know, they are all under control of the what we can call it the world occupation. You know, they never any of those who will bring peace or justice or freedom to anyone. You know, in my opinion, it's the whole world is still occupied, from this is imperially and all this is, maybe what we can call it the Zionism group, it's never they will bring any kind of solution or any kind of really peace or justice to anyone, not just to Palestinian, because what is going on is not just affect the Palestinian under occupation, but even they affect the international law, they affect the humanity. If this is the main big thing, if broken, in the future people they will not respect even any kind of word for solution or word about democracy, because we believe there is no democracy in the world. If there is democracy in the world and there is really international law, then why we are since more than 70 years under occupation? Why it's the genocide in Gaza still until now, since last 9 months ago? Why all this is the crimes is still, going on and growing?
Yes, that's right. We've got to get to the root cause, and we have to keep going and mobilizing for that.
Of course.
Did you have a final comment, Guy, before I start providing a summary?
Just for your last answer, two things. Just for your last answer, the Biden started to do something now with the warrants and things like this. And just today we spoke between us, the Israeli, that we are afraid that when Trump will come, he will also cancel this and probably not going ahead with it. So there is a really fear between us that Trump will be. And once again, just we need your support and your pressure on your government. And this is it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Guy. And could I ask you, please, to put in the name of the other organization for the FASA project? If you could put that into the chat line. And then when we put this recording on Facebook, we can also have that extra information added for people who view the recording to come back to have that guidance.
Rashid, you have the papers of FASA?
Yeah, I can share it with Linda.
Okay.
And I can share the website, and even they can be direct, dear Linda, in touch or contact with the Guy or with me, anyone who's really interested to come and to join. It's all, we try to organize and working together. There is no problem or no different, let's say.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. It's good that you know each other and communicate together as you are doing now.
Thanks a lot.
That's okay. No, we've really appreciated having you with us today for all the extra information you've provided, the many details, which then can go on to help us with our education, awareness raising that we're doing, our lobbying, the ideas that you've provided as help that can be given on the ground. Thank you very much for that. And, I think we've all heard how vital it is that the international community continue to mobilize on your behalf. We are the ones abroad who've got the responsibility of continuing to push our governments to do the right thing. Malcolm, could I ask you to bring up our slides now, please? This recording is going to be available within the next couple of days, so it's not going to be long for people to wait for the information. In terms of our activism, certainly those in the UK must mark the date, the 3rd of August, which is the next national demonstration for Palestine in London. As soon as we know more details of the assembly point and the route, it will be on the ICAHD website. So please look out for it. Something else that is happening, mark your diaries, please, for the next ICAHD UK conference. Well, it's conferences in the autumn. For the first time, we're having two, one in central London on the 19th of October, the second on the 26th of October in Edinburgh. And you'll see the theme is focusing on the big picture in Palestine, Israel, from Gaza outwards. So during that conference, yes, we're not just looking at the violations now, we're looking at how to mobilize, how to go forward, how to do this planning. We'll have, Israelis, Palestinians speaking, we'll have people from the media, people from law, and so forth. So covering several themes as we mobilize to go forwards. Next slide. After that, okay, the study tour program was mentioned. These are facilitated by ICAHD. They engage with Palestinians and critical Israelis, lots of encounters. The slide shows you a little bit of the details, but basically, please go to the ICAHD website and you'll get more information. And then next slide, learn more about our work. ICAHD was founded in 1997, and on the website, we have a wealth of information from over the years, statistics, analysis, maps, and then right the way up to current information that comes out. So check the website. Also, we send out actions bulletins, which appear mid-month and spell out different actions people can take. At the end of the month, we send a newsletter, and that contains analysis, information, articles, and so forth. You can sign up for these from our website. It's absolutely free. We are on social media and developing more of our social media as well. Okay, and then we would love you to join us if you're not already a member, and by being a member, you help facilitate the work that we're doing, the ways that we are trying to influence key people, key influencers, politicians, the media, and supporters. So do that. Help us grow our campaigns rooted in these core issues of settler colonialism, the genocidal and apartheid policies against the Palestinian people. We also retain our focus on home demolitions and displacement. And again, we call for a one democratic state with equality for everybody. So it's a big picture organization. We strive to be this political actor in the process of creating a just and sustainable, peaceful solution for both peoples. So we're not a charity. We are not just a human rights organization. We go on that to try to get to the root causes and to deal with them. It is a Goliath of a situation, but we don't give up. We will not give up the hope for this, having a better world. Malcolm, we can remove that now. And so I want to thank everybody who's come to attend this webinar, and thank you for doing that. Stay connected. We hope to see you again. And lastly, really, we say a huge thanks to Guy and Rashid for giving of your time to be with us. You will remain in our hearts. You'll remain in our thoughts as we are together in this struggle for liberation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, dear all. And I hope that we can see the really nice world and the nice democracy and freedom. Thanks.